Hey everyone, and welcome back to Uncle Sam Fun English. I'm Theus.
And I'm Belle. Ready for another fun lesson?
Absolutely. Today we're diving into happy versus joyful, the difference that matters.
It's easy to use these words interchangeably, but they're not the same.
We'll show you how to use each word correctly to express yourself clearly.
Let's dive in.
So Belle, what's the deal with happy and joyful? People use them all the time, but are they really the same?
That's a great question, Theus. While both words describe positive emotions, they aren't interchangeable. Happy often refers to a fleeting, circumstantial feeling. A common mistake is using happy when joyful, which implies a deeper, more enduring sense of well-being, is more accurate.
So it's like, you're happy when you eat ice cream, but you're joyful when you think about your family. Is that the kind of difference we're talking about?
Exactly. Happy is often triggered by external events, while joyful stems from an internal source, like gratitude or contentment. Many learners confuse the two because they both translate to feliz in Portuguese, overlooking the subtle but significant distinction.
Right. So, I might say, I was happy to get a good grade on my test, or I'm happy the sun is shining. But would it sound weird to say, I'm happy about my life?
It wouldn't necessarily sound weird, but it might not convey the full depth of your feeling. Joyful implies a sustained state of well-being, independent of external circumstances. This happens because people often simplify emotions in a new language.
Okay, I see. So, happy is more temporary, while joyful is more permanent. What if someone wins the lottery? Are they happy or joyful? Or both? What's the impact of mixing these up?
They would likely be both. However, the initial excitement is likely happiness stemming from an external event. If that win leads to long-term security and a sense of peace, they might then feel joyful. Using the wrong word can diminish the strength of the emotion you're trying to express.
So how do we fix this?
By learning to recognize the nuances and contexts where each word is most appropriate. Recognizing triggers is key. Okay, so let's start with happy. Happy is a general feeling of contentment or pleasure. It's a broad term for feeling good.
So, if I had a good cup of coffee in the morning, could I say I'm happy? Is it that simple?
Exactly. You could say, I'm happy to have this coffee. It describes a momentary feeling of pleasure. Happy is often linked to specific events or situations. For example, I'm happy about the good news, or I'm happy the sun is shining today. It's a fairly common and easily accessible emotion.
I get it. Happy seems like a more fleeting feeling. What about when someone says, I'm a happy person?
That means they generally experience more positive emotions than negative ones in their day-to-day life. It suggests an overall positive outlook but doesn't necessarily imply intense elation. It describes a general state of well-being. Someone might also say, I'm happy with my job, which suggests a sense of satisfaction but not necessarily overwhelming excitement.
Okay, so, happy is like a general, everyday good feeling. Now, how is joyful different? It sounds stronger?
Precisely. Joyful implies a deeper, more intense, and often longer-lasting feeling of happiness. It's more profound and connected to something more significant than a simple, everyday pleasure. It's a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. Think of it as happiness amplified.
So could you use it for something bigger, like achieving a long-term goal, maybe?
Absolutely. Joyful is often associated with significant life events, achievements, or experiences. For instance, you might say, I felt joyful when I graduated from university, or witnessing their wedding was a truly joyful occasion. It's a feeling that resonates deeply within. Joyful is also frequently linked to a sense of gratitude and connection to something larger than oneself.
So if I won the lottery, would joyful be a more appropriate word than happy?
Yes, in that scenario, joyful would be a much more fitting descriptor. Winning the lottery would likely elicit a profound sense of excitement and happiness far beyond a simple, fleeting feeling. It's something that would probably bring you a lot of joy. You might also say, I was overjoyed, to emphasize the intensity of the emotion.
Okay, so, happy is my coffee in the morning, and joyful is winning the lottery. That's a good way to remember it. But could I still use happy when winning the lottery, or would that be incorrect?
While you technically could use happy, it would be an understatement. It wouldn't fully capture the depth and intensity of the emotion you'd likely be feeling. It's like saying you're okay when you're actually ecstatic. So, while grammatically correct, it wouldn't be the most accurate or evocative choice.
That makes sense. So, what are some other situations where joyful would be a better choice than happy?
Think about witnessing the birth of a child, seeing a loved one recover from a serious illness, or achieving a long-held dream. These moments are typically filled with profound happiness, gratitude, and a sense of deep fulfillment. Joyful captures that complexity of emotion much more effectively than happy. It's a feeling that stays with you.
So, it's not just about the intensity of the feeling but also the significance of the event or experience that triggers it.
Exactly. Joyful is often connected to moments that have a lasting impact on your life, moments that are deeply meaningful and that you'll cherish for years to come. It's more associated with emotional depth than happy, which can describe simple and fleeting pleasure. Think of joyful as happiness with a purpose, connected to something bigger.
This is really helpful. So, to recap, happy is more general, and joyful is more intense and meaningful. But are there any situations where they're completely interchangeable?
In very simple everyday contexts, there might be some overlap. For instance, you could say, "I'm happy to see you," or "I'm joyful to see you," when greeting a friend. But even in that situation, joyful adds a layer of warmth and enthusiasm, suggesting you're genuinely delighted to see them.
So, even in the simplest situations, joyful still carries a bit more weight. It's never wrong to use it, but it might sometimes be overkill?
Precisely. It's all about choosing the word that best reflects the specific emotion you're trying to convey. Happy is safe and versatile, while joyful adds a touch of intensity and depth. It's about nuance and choosing the right shade of feeling to express yourself accurately. Think of it like different colors on an artist's palette.
Can you give me some more examples of how context changes which word is better?
Sure. Imagine you're eating ice cream on a warm day. You'd probably say, "I'm happy to be eating this ice cream." But if you're volunteering at a soup kitchen and helping people in need, you might say, "It makes me joyful to give back to the community." The context of giving is far deeper than simply enjoying a frozen treat.
I think I'm really starting to understand the difference. Happy is like a surface-level feeling, and joyful is something that comes from deeper within.
Exactly. It's about understanding the depth and source of your emotion. Are you experiencing a simple, fleeting pleasure, or are you tapping into something more profound and meaningful? Consider the root and the resonance of the feeling. It is a truly joyful thing when students understand the subtle differences in the English language.
This has been incredibly helpful, Belle. I feel much more confident using these words now.
I'm joyful to hear that, Theus. Just remember to consider the context and the intensity of your emotions when choosing between happy and joyful. And with a little practice, you'll be using them like a pro. Don't be afraid to try out new vocabulary words when speaking with others.
So, Belle, are happy and joyful always interchangeable, or are there times when one is more appropriate than the other?
That's a great question, Theus. While they both describe positive emotions, joyful often suggests a deeper, more sustained sense of happiness, a more profound and lasting feeling.
So, would you say happy is more fleeting, while joyful implies a longer-term state? Like, "I'm happy I got a good grade," versus, "I'm joyful about my life's direction"?
Exactly. Happy can be triggered by smaller, more immediate things, like a good meal or a sunny day. Joyful, on the other hand, is more connected to overall well-being and contentment.
Okay, so if someone wins the lottery, they'd probably be happy. But if they dedicate their life to helping others, they might describe themselves as joyful.
Precisely. Winning the lottery is a temporary thrill, a burst of happiness. Dedicating your life to a meaningful cause creates a sense of purpose and fulfillment, leading to a more profound joy.
What about describing events? Could you say, "It was a happy occasion," or "It was a joyful occasion," and would they mean different things?
Yes, absolutely. A happy occasion might be a birthday party or a casual gathering. A Joyful occasion is more likely to be a wedding or a graduation, something with deep significance.
So, a joyful occasion is a happy occasion, but a happy occasion isn't necessarily joyful? It's like all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares?
That's a perfect analogy. Joyful carries a weight of significance and lasting pleasure that happy doesn't always possess. It is happiness elevated to a higher plane.
I get it. So, you might say, I'm happy to see you, but you wouldn't usually say, I'm joyful to see you, unless you haven't seen that person in years and it's a really emotional reunion?
Precisely. Happy to see you is a common, everyday greeting. Joyful to see you is reserved for moments of intense emotional connection and profound delight in someone's presence.
This makes so much sense. But what about when we're talking about things that aren't necessarily related to people or events? Can objects or situations be joyful?
We often use happy to describe things, like a happy song or a happy color. While you can use joyful in a similar way, it adds a layer of depth and resonance.
So, a happy song might be upbeat and cheerful, but a joyful song could be a gospel hymn that fills you with spiritual peace?
Exactly. Joyful implies a deeper, more meaningful connection to the music, a sense of upliftment and inner peace that goes beyond simple happiness. It resonates within you.
This is really clarifying. What about describing children? Is there a difference between a happy child and a joyful child?
A happy child is generally content and carefree, easily amused and pleased. A joyful child radiates an inner light, a sense of wonder and delight in the world around them.
So, a happy child might be laughing while playing with toys, but a joyful child might be gazing in awe at a sunset.
Beautifully put. The joyful child possesses a deeper appreciation for the beauty and wonder of life, an innate sense of contentment that transcends momentary pleasures.
Okay, so, joyful is like happiness with extra layers of meaning and depth. It's not just a surface-level emotion, it's something more profound and enduring.
Exactly. It's the difference between a quick sugar rush and a nourishing, wholesome meal. Both provide pleasure, but one offers sustained well-being and benefit.
So, if someone is simply having a good time, you'd say they're happy. But if they're experiencing a profound sense of fulfillment and gratitude, you'd say they're joyful?
Absolutely. Happy is often circumstantial, dependent on external factors. Joyful is more internal, a state of being that arises from a deep sense of peace and purpose.
This is so helpful. But are there any situations where using joyful might sound a little unnatural or forced?
Yes, definitely. Overusing joyful in everyday conversation can sometimes sound overly sentimental or even a bit pretentious. Context is key.
So, you wouldn't say, I'm joyful to take out the trash, even if you really love having a clean house? That would sound a little strange, right?
Exactly. In that case, I'm happy to take out the trash is perfectly appropriate. Joyful is best reserved for situations that genuinely evoke a sense of profound happiness and gratitude.
Okay, so save joyful for those special, meaningful moments. Don't use it for everyday occurrences, or you might sound a bit dramatic.
Precisely. Think of it as a special spice. It can add wonderful flavor, but too much can overwhelm the dish. Use it judiciously and with intention.
What about the difference between happiness and joy? Is it the same distinction as happy and joyful?
Yes, the same principles apply. Happiness is a general state of well-being, while joy is a deeper, more profound emotion.
So, someone might strive for happiness in their life, but truly seek joy. Happiness is the journey, and joy is the destination?
That's a lovely way to put it. Happiness is often found in the pursuit of things, while joy is found in appreciating what you already have and connecting with something larger than yourself.
So, focusing on gratitude, meaningful relationships, and contributing to something positive can lead to a more joyful life?
Absolutely. Cultivating those qualities nurtures a sense of inner peace and contentment, leading to a more profound and lasting sense of joy. It's about shifting the focus inward.
This has been incredibly insightful, Belle. I feel like I have a much better understanding of the subtle but important differences between happy and joyful.
I'm so glad, Theus. Remember, Language is all about nuance and context. Paying attention to these subtle distinctions can enrich your communication and deepen your understanding of emotions.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Uncle Sam Fun English. I'm Theus.
And I'm Belle. Ready for another fun lesson?
Absolutely. Today we're exploring happy versus joyful, the difference that matters.
Many people use these words interchangeably, but they're not the same.
Understanding the difference can help you express your emotions more accurately.
Let's dive in.
So Belle, what's the big deal? Why can't we just use happy for everything?
Well, happy is often tied to external circumstances, things that make us feel good in the moment. A common mistake is thinking happiness is a permanent state.
Like, I'm happy because I ate a delicious pizza, but what happens when the pizza is gone?
Exactly. Then the happiness fades. Joyful, on the other hand, is a deeper, more enduring sense of contentment.
So, it's less about what's happening to you and more about what's inside you.
Precisely. It's a feeling of inner peace and well-being that's less dependent on external factors. It's a more consistent state of being.
Okay, so if I win the lottery, I'm happy. But if I'm helping someone in need, I'm joyful?
That's a great way to put it. Winning the lottery is a temporary thrill, whereas helping others brings a deeper, more lasting fulfillment.
So, happy is like a fleeting feeling, and joyful is more like a solid foundation?
Yes. And confusing the two can lead to chasing fleeting pleasures instead of cultivating lasting contentment. It can leave you feeling empty in the long run.
Right, because you're always looking for the next happy thing, instead of appreciating what you already have.
Exactly. And that's why understanding the difference is so important. It helps you prioritize what truly matters.
So how do we fix this? How do we move from chasing happiness to cultivating joy?
We start by shifting our focus from external circumstances to internal qualities, like gratitude, compassion, and connection. One key is to practice gratitude daily. Instead of focusing on what you lack, appreciate what you have.
Can you give me a specific example? I'm happy when someone gives me a gift, but how does gratitude come into play?
Instead of just being happy about the gift, be grateful for the person who gave it to you and the thought behind it. See the deeper meaning.
So, instead of just thinking, cool, a new gadget, I should think, wow, they really care about me and know what I like.
Precisely. Another example. Instead of being happy because you got a promotion, be grateful for the opportunity to grow and contribute.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. So, even in difficult situations, there's room for gratitude?
Absolutely. Even when things are tough, you can find something to be grateful for, like your health, your family, or your resilience.
So, instead of focusing on the negative, you actively look for the positive?
Exactly. And that shift in perspective can make a huge difference. It fosters a sense of inner peace, even amidst chaos.
Got it. So, instead of being happy that the rain stopped, be grateful for the rain that helped the plants grow.
Exactly. See how that reframes the situation. Now, a simple rainstorm has a deeper meaning.
So, focusing on gratitude helps create a sense of joy, even when external circumstances aren't ideal.
Precisely. And that joy is far more sustainable than fleeting happiness. Think of it as building a house on a solid foundation, not sand.
So Belle, are there specific activities that help cultivate joy, beyond just practicing gratitude?
Definitely. Acts of kindness and compassion are powerful ways to foster joy. Helping others shifts your focus outward.
Like volunteering at a soup kitchen or donating to charity?
Exactly. But it doesn't have to be something grand. Even small acts of kindness, like offering a helping hand or a listening ear, can make a difference.
So, smiling at a stranger or holding the door open for someone?
Absolutely. Those small gestures create a ripple effect of positivity. And they also remind you of your connection to others.
That makes sense. When you're focused on helping others, you're less focused on your own problems.
Precisely. And that can be incredibly freeing. It allows you to step outside of yourself and experience the joy of making a positive impact.
Okay, so being joyful is less about receiving and more about giving?
Exactly. It's about contributing to something larger than yourself. And that sense of purpose can bring profound joy.
So, if I'm feeling down, I should try to do something nice for someone else?
Absolutely. It's a powerful antidote to negativity. Try it and see what happens. You might be surprised at the positive impact it has, not just on others, but on yourself.
So, it's like a win-win situation. You make someone else happy, and you feel joyful in the process.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of cultivating joy. It's a self-reinforcing cycle of positivity and connection. Also, remember that true joy often involves accepting the full range of human emotions, not just the positive ones.
What do you mean? Are you saying we should embrace sadness and anger?
Not embrace them in a way that lets them consume you, but acknowledge them. Trying to suppress negative emotions can actually hinder your ability to experience joy.
So, instead of pretending to be happy all the time, we should allow ourselves to feel sad or angry when necessary.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that those emotions are a part of the human experience. And allowing yourself to feel them fully, without judgment, can actually free you up to experience deeper joy.
So, it's like acknowledging the darkness in order to appreciate the light?
Precisely. And that acceptance is key to cultivating lasting contentment. True joy isn't about avoiding pain, it's about finding peace amidst it.
So, even when things are difficult, we can still find moments of joy?
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that life is a mixture of joy and sorrow. And accepting that reality can bring a sense of inner peace.
So, it's not about being happy all the time, it's about being at peace with whatever life throws our way.
Exactly. And that inner peace is the foundation of true joy. It's a feeling of contentment that's not dependent on external circumstances.
And if you're finding this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Uncle Sam Fun English.
Think about it this way. Happiness is like a firework, bright and exciting, but short-lived. Joy, on the other hand, is like a steady flame, providing warmth and light even on the darkest nights.
So, focus on cultivating that inner flame, and you'll find that joy is always within reach.
It's about finding joy in the simple things, like a beautiful sunset, a good conversation, or a quiet moment of reflection. These moments are always available if we're open to them.
Even something as simple as a cup of coffee can bring a moment of joy if you take the time to appreciate it.
Exactly. It's about being present in the moment and savoring the small pleasures that life offers. This mindfulness can significantly enhance your overall sense of joy.
And remember to cultivate meaningful relationships. Strong connections with others are essential for experiencing lasting joy.
Sharing experiences, offering support, and simply being there for loved ones can bring a profound sense of fulfillment and joy. These relationships are a cornerstone of a joyful life.
So, prioritize those connections and nurture them. They'll be there for you in good times and bad.
And don't forget to pursue activities that bring you a sense of flow. When you're fully engaged in something you love, time seems to disappear.
This could be anything from painting to playing music to writing to gardening. Find what brings you into that state of flow and make time for it.
These activities not only bring joy in the moment but also contribute to a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment over time. They're essential for a well-rounded and joyful life.
So, to recap, happiness is often tied to external circumstances, while joy is a deeper, more enduring sense of contentment.
Practice gratitude, cultivate kindness, accept all emotions, and nurture meaningful relationships to cultivate lasting joy.
Focus on the internal, and you'll find that joy is always within reach, no matter what life throws your way.
Remember to subscribe to Uncle Sam Fun English for more lessons like this.
Thanks for listening. Keep practicing.
See you next time. Bye everyone. Let's practice differentiating between happy and joyful with some sentences. I'll give you a scenario, and you tell me which word fits best.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with your best shot. I'm feeling quite eager for this.
Alright, here's the first one. Even though it was raining, she felt blank, spending time with her family. Which word would you choose?
Raining but with family. I'd probably say she felt happy spending time with her family. It's a nice, comfortable feeling.
That's a good start, but let's consider the nuance. Happy works, but joyful emphasizes a deeper, more profound sense of contentment despite the weather.
So, joyful is like a happiness that's sticking around, even with a little rain cloud hanging over it.
Exactly. Happy can be fleeting, but joyful suggests a sustained inner peace and delight. The rain doesn't diminish her overall positive state.
Okay, I think I get it now. Let me try another one. He was blank when he received the good news about his promotion.
Good. Now think carefully about the duration and depth of the feeling in this scenario. Is it short-lived, or something more profound?
I'd say he was joyful when he received the promotion. It's a big achievement, a significant moment that brings lasting satisfaction.
Excellent. The promotion is a substantial, positive change in his life, leading to a more profound and lasting sense of happiness. Joyful is definitely the better fit.
So, joyful is often connected to bigger, more meaningful events, while happy can be about everyday pleasures?
Precisely. Think of it like this. Happy is like enjoying a good cup of coffee, while joyful is like celebrating a major life milestone.
Got it. Okay, let's try one more. The children were blank, playing in the park on a sunny afternoon.
This one's a bit trickier. Consider the context. Sunny afternoon, children playing. What feeling is most likely being conveyed?
I think I would go with happy here. It's a simple, immediate pleasure. They're just enjoying the moment, without necessarily a deep or profound meaning attached to it.
Correct. Happy perfectly captures the lighthearted, carefree feeling of children enjoying a beautiful day. Joyful might be a bit too strong in this context.
This is making so much more sense now. The subtle differences are really starting to become clear.
Wonderful. Now, let's try a few more challenging examples. Pay close attention to the wording and the overall feeling being described.
Bring it on. I'm ready to delve even deeper into the nuances of happy and joyful.
Okay, how about this? She felt blank volunteering at the animal shelter, knowing she was making a difference in the lives of abandoned animals.
This one is interesting. She's not just having a good time, she is also making a difference. I am tempted to say joyful.
And why is that? What elements of the sentence led you to that conclusion? Explain your reasoning.
Because she is feeling a sense of purpose that is beyond just a momentary good feeling. The work is important to her.
Exactly. The feeling of making a difference adds a layer of depth and meaning that elevates it beyond simple happiness. Joyful is the better choice.
Okay, I'm really starting to see the difference now. Happy is more superficial, while joyful is more profound and meaningful.
You've got it. Happy is often about external circumstances, while joyful comes from within, regardless of what's happening around you.
So, someone could be happy even if they're facing challenges, but their joy would be a source of strength during those times.
Absolutely. Joy provides a deeper resilience and a sense of inner peace that happiness alone cannot offer. It's a more powerful emotion.
This is so helpful. I feel like I can finally use these words with more confidence and precision.
Great. Let's try one more, a really tricky one. Despite the loss, he felt a blank sense of gratitude for the time he had with her.
Oh, wow, that's a tough one. He is grieving but also grateful. This is where joy and happiness really diverge, I think.
Indeed. Think about the context and the specific feeling being described. Which word best captures the complexity of the emotion?
I'm going to go with joyful. Even in the face of loss, there's a deep, abiding sense of gratitude and love that transcends the sadness.
Precisely. The gratitude stems from a place of deep love and connection, making joyful the most accurate choice. It acknowledges the pain while highlighting the enduring positive emotion.
This has been incredibly insightful. I never realized how much nuance there was between these two words.
Now, it's your turn to create your own sentences. Think of different scenarios and try to use happy and joyful appropriately.
Okay, I will try it. How about this? I was blank to see my friend after a long time apart.
Good start. Which word fits best, and why? Remember to consider the depth and duration of the emotion.
I would say happy here because it's about the pleasure of reconnecting with a friend, a simple, immediate feeling.
Excellent. Happy perfectly captures the warmth and pleasure of that reunion. Now, try to create a sentence using joyful.
Okay, let me think. She felt blank when her daughter graduated from college after years of hard work and dedication.
Wonderful. Now, explain why you chose joyful in this context. What makes it the more appropriate word?
Because it's not just a fleeting moment of happiness, it's the culmination of years of effort and sacrifice, a deeply meaningful achievement.
Exactly. The sense of accomplishment and pride associated with her daughter's graduation creates a profound and lasting sense of joy.
I think I've finally mastered the difference between happy and joyful. Thank you so much for clarifying this for me.
You're very welcome. Remember, happy is often about external pleasures, while joyful comes from within, a deeper and more enduring emotion. Now it's your turn, listeners. Try to create your own sentences using happy and joyful, and share them in the comments below. We'd love to see how you're using these words.
So, remember, happy is often fleeting, while joyful reflects a deeper, more lasting contentment.
Try to find things that bring you not just happiness, but also a sense of profound joy in your life.
Embrace those joyful moments and let them fuel your English learning journey.
Remember to subscribe to Uncle Sam Fun English for more lessons like this.
Thanks for listening. Keep practicing.
See you next time. Bye everyone.